All right, this is a wrap on the 31st annual Big Bear Run. Not the day we were hoping for.
Right side change. Carnage. Lost my GPS. It's in my pocket now. It fell off at the start. Both levers are gone. Clutch is fried.
Rear brake setup.
Made it to the first gas bet. I think the L's calling it quits.
Honda's a little disappointed. I think we had a factory contract on the line if we did good today, and we blew it.
We're not lining up with Jet anytime soon.
Yeah,
we'll just leave it there.
We blew our shot. Premature ending to the day. We did we found out the answer to the question we've been wanting to know is, does size matter? I think we found the answer to that. All right, we got the prospectors here. First question, does size matter?
Yes.
It does.
Gotta have a 500.
Depends if you ask my wife or not.
What's your answer?
No, it does not matter.
It does not matter.
It's the rider.
Okay. So how do you think we'll be doing on the 300L?
I think it's the rider.
You think it's a rider?
Yeah, I
I
think
think all the blinkers and mirrors are still be intact.
Yeah, okay.
as long as you keep it on two wheels, everything will look good.
How about the 300 versus the 450L? What do you think the bike of choice is for tomorrow?
It's hard to turn down a 450.
I'd rather go for the 450 myself.
All right, all right.
Less work going up the hills.
Okay. Do you think top 10? It's 2 years in a row, or
You're gonna start at 6?
we'll be in line by 5:30 or 4:30, 4:45?
Oh, you'll be in the front of the
10's
line.
quite possible. Sure,
Okay.
why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it. I was 25th.
Okay.
The year I did it.
Okay.
So, and I'm not nearly as fast as you are.
All right. Last question: is Timu exhaust going to make it all 200 miles?
Once again, if you don't lay it on that side, I think you'll be good.
Okay.
Check the torque before you ride in the morning. It should be fine.
All right.
If all the bolts are tight, what could go wrong?
I don't know. What could go wrong? All right. We'll have fun tomorrow.
You have
All right.
fun. Keep it up.
Have fun. Is everybody doing these interviews like last year?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Dudek.
Yeah.
First question: does size matter?
No.
It does not.
No.
Okay. How do you think the 300L is going to do out there tomorrow?
Well, if I was riding it, pretty good. If you riding it,
It's questionable.
questionable for sure. Yeah.
What 300L or 450L? What's the bike of choice?
300.
300L. Okay.
Yeah, for tomorrow.
For tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay. When next year we're going to see you out there with us, right?
potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah,
Maybe some 150Ls.
I think we can do that. The XR 150.
Yeah.
We will do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? How about the my bike prep? You got the Timu exhaust, the flex bars. What do you think of the setup?
I want the flex bars. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we'll do pretty good with those.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna help you.
Yeah.
Because you're a little bit softer than me, and you need a little bit more. And then the bike, we got you on the short one this year, so you'll be able to touch the ground.
It's still close, but I can't touch the ground now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I see maybe for sure top 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
How will the exhaust make it all 200 miles?
We got a side bed over here going. I'm hoping so.
You're hoping so.
Yeah, I'm hoping
Okay.
so. Do we have a spare here?
I brought the stock one.
Okay.
Yep. And then last thing, air filters. How many air filters do you think will be going through tomorrow?
Well, I hope you just go through the one.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
we'll be ready for it. If you
Okay.
need more. Just like last year, you needed just one.
Yep.
Halfway through.
Yep.
Yeah, once you get through the traffic, you'll have some clean air.
Yep. We'll be top 10, smooth sailing from there. All right. We'll see you tomorrow morning. All right. We're back.
Documenting this?
Yep. First question. Does size matter?
Does size matter?
Yeah.
On who?
I don't know.
bike?
Does size matter?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's how do you use it?
So is the 300L, is that the weapon of choice for tomorrow, or
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Bring it out.
fast enough, big enough, powerful enough?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's the rider.
What are your predictions?
For who?
For me?
Oh, if you got 8th last year, man, you got to have another top 10.
Okay.
Why even show up?
I mean, I just couldn't say it better myself. All right, we'll be going for it.
All right, do it.
Interview.
For what?
Does size matter?
Yeah, the bigger the better.
Okay. So 300L or 450L?
I've never ridden either of them.
But if size matters, then
I don't even know what a 300L is. A 450L, I'd assume, is like the Honda. I picked the Honda.
they're both Hondas.
Oh, they are? Oh, you're riding one of those?
Yes.
I'd pick the 450L.
So size does matter in your
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. I think it's always better to have more than enough power than not enough.
Okay, you're one of those guys, huh? That's
Yeah.
why you're riding a race bike.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. Commentating, of course.
It's legal in other states.
Okay, buddy.
It's not yet legal in
So
other
how-
states, but it's legal.
How do you think the 300 will do tomorrow?
302 stroke or 304?
The 300L. How do you think it'll do?
I don't know. With you?
What if
Probably
it
pretty
beats you?
decent. How tall is it?
It's a short seat
Oh, then
height.
you're perfect.
Oh yeah, I can touch the ground.
Yeah.
I can both feet.
You're good. You're good.
What if it beats you?
Like I said, I'm gonna throw my bike off a cliff. Don't mark my words. That's not actually.
That's going on YouTube.
If you pass me, I'm gonna call you with my little headphones and then say, hey Trevor, I'm gonna leave my bike here. Let me hop on the back of that thing and we'll just go tandem the rest of the day because clearly you're going faster than me.
If I see you and I'm passing you, I'm honking the horn at
Well,
you.
now that I know you're on a full-size frame, I thought you were on like a Honda Grom looking thing.
It's not a full-size frame.
I don't even know what the 300 is. I don't know.
Okay.
You'll see it tomorrow.
But size does matter.
I think I'd be happier on a 450L over a 300L, yes.
Okay. We'll
How
see.
are they? Are they torquey?
I don't
They
know.
got some snap? You never ridden
Maybe. The Temu exhaust barks.
them? Now he's going to come chasing after me. I'm going to start behind you. And then
Even
when I
better.
pass you,
Even better.
hear that too exhaust.
Yeah.
Just licked.
Wide
what do you do
open.
when it breaks in half? Actually, do you see the video of the guy building the car motor? He built his race car motor out of Temu parts, and it actually did really good.
We're gonna see tomorrow.
Performance.
Temu. Size matters.
Any other questions for your interview?
Size matters.
I think so.
How big is too big?
You should have him on a... For this? For this? No, I think a 650 would do good. Right, Dylan?
Oh, I want to do this on my 650 so bad.
So how big is too big?
Are we talking hard way?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Whatever you want to do.
That's too big for you?
Well, I'm not gay, so any of it would be too big.
Does size matter?
No, only the motion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So is the 300L, is that going to be enough bike for tomorrow?
I think it is. It depends on the rider.
Okay. How about for us?
You are perfect on that bike, on any bike, I guess. Yeah.
The short seat height, my short legs, they go well together?
Well, as long as your both don't get tangled in the chain.
They aren't that big, I promise. All right, any predictions?
You'll be doing great.
Yeah?
I think, yeah.
You do top 10 again?
I think you're gonna be probably top.
Top? Oh, that's, I don't know about that.
No, we'll see.
That's, I don't know
Go
about
early
that
to
one.
bed and you'll be okay. Yeah.
No, I gotta stay up all night. Jimmy says that's a secret.
Okay.
Stay up drinking all night, you're wide loose tomorrow.
I got some IPAs. You want some?
Oh, there we go.
Huh?
All right.
All
top,
right.
Top rider. We'll be top rider tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right. We're here at the Big Bear Dual Sport, morning of. First question: does size matter?
On the bike?
I don't know.
I think being taller helps here. I'm on a 450, so hopefully that's, most guys here, or a lot of guys are on 302 strokes.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be all right.
How about the 300L? How do you think that'll do?
I'm excited to see how it does. I want to see how many of your turn signals and how much of your plates left. But it's a tractor, right?
Yeah,
Right?
maybe. Think it'll make it?
Yeah.
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 Top 10?
I don't know. It's more up to you, I think. I mean,
All right. So size does matter.
I don't know you. I don't know how
I
good
mean,
your
well,
rider you are.
bike size, right? I mean, we're talking any size. Does any size matter?
It does look low, which I think will help you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think in some ways, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll
I
we'll
think
see
you'll
you.
be all right though. I'm not worried about you.
All right. We'll see you at the finish.
Yeah. See ya.
Trevor might get protested right now.
Doing modifications.
Bike
Taking
work.
off the vented.
Bike work, inline. Testing airbox covers inline.
We decided that running the vented airbox cover was not a good idea.
So we're going no airbox cover.
So we're just gonna take it off. Puma exhaust looks good as ever. Real carbon fiber, I promise.
There we go.
Here's what we're working with. Which one would you guys choose?
Neither. You don't need it.
More power. Sadly, they won't let us rev bomb the Puma exhaust before the start.
They'll be hearing it though.
Trevor's gonna play the Chinese national anthem before the start.
Good to go. Tommy Harris, where you at? Factory Honda mechanic.
We need you. About the same spot as last year. Call this the Goldilocks spot. Get some good views going up Gold Mountain. How many riders do you think are gonna pass us on the way to Gold Mountain this morning?
At least 10. For the looks of it, at least 10.
There's some dedicated guys. We already found like an 06 YZ250. No light, no plate.
CR250?
CR250. No light, no plate. No problem. Gonna need this today down on the desert. Tear-offs. Tear-offs for the dual spool ride. Trevor's switching to roll-offs this year. How are we feeling? About to get in line. We're supposed to be standing by our bikes.
Feeling good. Timu, ready to go. I think we got. We'll see. I think Timu will make it though.
If not, thank you, Big Bear.
Size don't matter.
Size doesn't matter. What would you pick? Does size matter, Duke? Duke. Alright, Trevor scared him away. Thought he was his lunch. Duke, does size matter? Which one you picking? Nope. That's size. He's picking big boy. Thank you, Duke.
300, huh?
We're back.
Nice. Oh, complete with mirrors.
Oh yeah, always. Gotta be legal.
You gotta be legal.
This might not be legal, but that's alright.
Give a little bark.
Timu power.
Go. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
What does size matter is what we're trying to figure out today. Jump target. Okay, you go in his place. Let's go. Hold on. Hold on.
Fuck.
Sucks. Give him the 300. Size doesn't matter. No luck. Lost my GPS. It's in my pocket now. It fell off at the start. Both levers are gone. Clutch is fried. Trevor, get on the back. We got a race to finish.
Got a hole in the filter cover. Waiting for the JB well to hopefully seal it. Off to a rocky start this year.
Dude.
Size doesn't matter.
Size doesn't matter.
Timu is not the move.
Adventure out for us 2025. No signs of the CR yet. Right side change. Carnage. Not even up Gold Mountain yet, but we're JB welding some shit. Rough start. Just hoping for a finish this year now.
Top 10. Baby.
Timu's got it.
Top
Timu,
10.
Don't call it a comeback.
Top 10.
Woo! Yeah, Trevor.
Good. It's over.
Already?
Put a hole in the oil filter cover.
The CR's made it. Inside line. Woo! CR's making it. CRF not making it. Oh!
Brake is looking primo right now.
Dirt bike test. We don't litter. Guys, this isn't a race. Here's some laminates. Let's grab these tear-ups off the floor. Freshies, barely, only dirty because they're on the floor. Going with homie, just pulled all of them. This is a campsite for the night. We're not leaving. Timu exhaust is still holding on though.
Outlasted the bike.
We'll be back. We'll be ready.
It outlasted the bike.
We're just giving people a head start.
All I have is that JB well.
here. Jimmy's just on the phone. He's not even riding.
I'm just a little disappointed. I think we had a factory contract on the line if we did good today, and we blew it.
We're not lining up with Jet anytime soon.
Yeah,
We'll just leave it there.
We blew our shot. Premature ending to the day. We did figure out, we found out the answer to the question we've been wanting to know is, does size matter? I think we found the answer to that, but we didn't get the result at the end of the race. What happened?
Rough start, typical 4 a.m. start, and then I had a few tip overs going up the first hill, and then I thought Trevor was being a nice friend and waiting for me, but he had some bike issues surprising us right off the bat.
Yeah, we were going up Gold Mountain. I was cruising along, no problems, passing people, honking the horn, having a good time, and I got a couple turns from the top, and I looked down and the bike is spouting out oil out of the oil filter cover. So I immediately had to shut the bike off, put it on its side, tried to JB weld the cover to plug the hole and keep moving. It took forever to get it to hold and to seal. So we lost about an hour, maybe even more than an hour, just sitting there waiting for the JB weld to dry and whatnot. And we're pretty much last on the route. The KTM Adventure bike passed us, a KLX300, just about everyone passed us. So we felt real small real quick. And then that was just the beginning of a day that we'd like to forget. I bent the brake pedal out a little bit, and that same, whatever rock I hit on the oil filter cover, I bent the brake pedal out. I was able to smash it back in a little bit, but it wasn't perfect. And then over the next 10 miles, I continued to just catch it on a rock or a bush or something and bend it out more and more and more, and finally it was wrapped completely around the foot peg. Nothing I could do. So I basically had no rear brake from mile 22 or 23. Is when I really just had no brake from then on. And the ABS on the front brake, we've learned that if you're just solely relying on the front brake, the ABS does not come in handy at all. So I felt like I almost had no brakes from mile 22 or on. Coming down some of the downhills, we're down the ridge, whatnot. It was really scary. Almost lost it more than a few times. Tyler had the front row seat. Like he was entertained.
Absolutely. I had my troubles going up Gold Mountain. I snapped both levers in half, so I was doing that, and I didn't realize the idle was a little low, so I kept stalling it. So after we waited with him, we kept going, and then he had his rear brake issues, and kept noticing he was going really slow on the downhills, and I almost kept running into him on the rear. And then finally we stopped, and I saw the damage, but I think we made a pretty good fix to that issue.
Yeah, I got almost 3/4 of the way down Redondo Ridge, and I had enough. I pulled over, we looked at it, and luckily Tyler had a pair of vice grips you'll see in this video. We just locked those things onto that brake pedal, and somehow it actually worked better than having the stock pedal perfect. When the stock pedal is right, you have to push things down so far to get it to really engage and work. But when you put the vice grips on, you just barely lightly touch it, and the thing works really good. So it's actually an improvement over stock. But getting to that point was very scary, to say the least. And yeah, the ABS in the front is something I'll have to disable in the future if I ever do this again.
Just to clarify too, we did try bending it back.
Yeah.
It was not going.
It was not
this was a last resort. So before you guys comment and say that,
it was not repairable.
We did attempt bending it back, but as you'll see in the photo, it is beyond repair.
Yeah. So that was. I also bent the tip of the shifter. So I could still shift fairly fine, but it wasn't ideal. So that would kind of hinder us a little bit, but mainly just the oil issue in the beginning, and then the rear brake. But once we got the rear brake kind of sorted out, we started making some good progress, started passing people back again. And then Tyler's bike started running a little funky towards mile 40, 45 or so.
Yeah. And then we cruised on into the gas pit. Yep. We both filled up, thought life was great, and we went to go take off and had some issues getting my bike started, and it just wouldn't run right. And so we had to sadly call it a day.
Yeah, motivation was real low leaving the Arrowhead gas, but we were still gonna continue on, at the very least finish the first loop. That was not a question. But as we were riding back down the highway from the Arrowhead gas pit, the bike, we kept nearly stalling on Tyler and whatnot. So I think we just got some bad gas or something. And yeah, the 450L, the bike that was doing pretty good all day, the one that people would guess would never have an issue. We did have some issue, kind of a freak issue, but that was the culprit. The 300L wasn't the reason we had to pull out early.
The 300 kept chugging, and the 450 just had some weird gas issue. We're thinking is the issue, and bummed, but I think that gives a little insight to maybe the question that's been being asked so far this weekend.
Does size matter?
And honestly, in my opinion, I think it does, but in a different way you guys are thinking.
Smaller is easier to ride.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe one of the people said it is, it's not the size, it's what you do with it. And man, I was kind of wishing that I had the 300 going up Gold Mountain, that I could just doggy paddle that thing up with nice sluggish power, but I got caught a few times, and I'm a little bit on the taller side. I'm about 6 foot, and I kept tipping over because I was just too short to get my leg down or to be able to hold it up all the way, and just had some, as I'd call them, maybe some Trevor Hunter moments, a little too short for the situation. But man, I never thought I'd be missing those bikes before, but I was getting a little jealous of Trevor until I saw him pulled off to the side. But I will say the 450 was a little bit better in that faster, more whoopy stuff, because at least you could kind of jump some of the rollers and whatnot, and it was obviously a lot bigger, so through certain faster things I felt like that bike stayed very planted and straight and very similar to the 300s, but just a little more almost power, I would say, but not significantly. But it was definitely shined a lot more than the 300s in that faster and whooped out stuff.
Yeah, I'll say at the top of Gold Mountain, we went into the bottom pretty much side by side, and at the top of Gold Mountain when I stopped and got the oil leak and started dealing with that, I probably had close to 10 minutes on Tyler just at the top of Gold Mountain. Well,
granted, so I lost my GPS at one point. I have GoPro footage.
It doesn't matter. Size does matter, and the smaller platform was superior.
I will say
going up Gold Mountain.
He did have a better run up Gold Mountain, but he got a little bit of a head start.
Yeah, it was not even a question. The 300L dominated going up Gold Mountain. So I think riding, I was actually on the shortened seat height version of that 300, and I think that kind of hurt me a little bit today, just both going up Gold Mountain and then all the trails after that. I feel like I was catching the bike, hitting the skid plate, obviously hitting the brake pedal, the cases a little bit, the shifter, whatnot. I feel like I was hitting that a lot more and banging that around more than I was last year. Some of that could have just been the terrain, but also I think just that little bit lower seat height, or the ground clearance, has a little bit of a factor to do with that. And so, something I would learn is Jimmy, and something I've always said, and then Jimmy's always said as well, is seat height and touching the ground really isn't that big a deal if you're a good enough rider. You're better off sacrificing the 1 or 2 inches of being able to touch the ground to have a normal size bike, in a sense. And so, if you're doing any kind of normal or hardcore off-road riding, even if you're short, the standard seat height 300L is probably the way to go. But if you're a newer rider, you're just riding strictly fire roads, very smooth, very easy stuff, then that 300L, the shorter version, I think comes into play. But any kind of hardcore off-road guys, you'll definitely want the normal height 300L, just so you're not banging around, a little more ground clearance, a little more out of the way of some trailside debris. So I think being on the shorter seat height bike hurt me a little bit today, but overall the smaller bike was, I would almost say, superior still.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor, for the first time in his life, sat flat-footed on a bike with both feet on the ground. It was pretty awesome. I was pretty happy for him. He's been searching for that for a while, but like he said, I think we had zero issues with maybe a few skid plate scrapes here and there last year, but never any levers or any of that issue last year. So I think just a little bit of that height difference, like he said, when you're getting a more rocky terrain like that, especially out here in Big Bear, there's a lot of those like just almost individual rocks, not consistent rocks, especially on Oil Pan, I believe is the trail it's called. There's a lot of those, and I think that's where we saw a lot of the brake lever and that shift lever get a little bent up, to whereas last year we got through that, no issues with the bending and whatnot. But like he said, if you're not really aiming for that, I think on the intermediate loop here, you would have been totally fine and never had to worry about anything with that. But yeah, absolutely. I think I'd pick the 300 if I could do it all over again.
Yeah, so we have learned that size does matter, but smaller in a lot of cases is better, and so
yeah, absolutely. I think it's
both are great bikes, but
yeah, I think it's a situation of terrain, and what you're doing is kind of what you're looking for. And I think though that the 300 is a lot more capable than what people give credit to, and like I said, I would, if I lived up here and I rode this type of terrain more, I would consider getting a 300 just because of how fun they are and how little they are. You can get into places pretty easy with them, to where that L is a little bit bigger, to where if I'm more of a desert rider, I'd maybe aim towards the L.
Yeah.
The 450RL, because it's just a bigger, faster bike, and those bikes are great at going straight, and they do good in that tight stuff, but the 300s are just so small and nimble that it's really hard to beat them. And
for anyone that does come up here and do the Big Bear ride, and this majority of the people that come up here and try to do the hard way don't finish, despite my challenges today with the oil and the brake pedal and whatnot, if you have never finished the hard way route and you still want to accomplish that, a bike like this, where it's the CRF or some of the other brands, they make them as well, but they're so much easier to ride and so capable in that tough stuff that it'll make it so much easier. And then you can get to the easier stuff and manage through that. But we see so many people crash out, break their bikes, whatever, on Gold Mountain or the Malcolm Smith Trail, whatever, just all the technical trails that they can't get through it, and then it ends their day. Whereas these bikes are so much easier to ride and can get through that. Obviously, like I said, we had our issues today, but for the most part, I think that's a much better option if you're really struggling to, year after year, finish a hard way route and you can't make it to the finish line. Bikes like these really could be the ticket to you could be make or break with you finishing or not finishing the hard way. So it just goes to show that a smaller displacement bike, less power, is not necessarily a bad thing. And we proved it today. Tyler, we got to the top of Gold Mountain, and the first thing Tyler said was he wanted to be on a 300L, not the 450L. And not that the 450L is a bad bike, but those smaller displacement bikes, less power, so much easier to ride that it's just more enjoyable at the end of the day. So, overall, not our proudest moment. I'll say the 450L is the reason we didn't come through, Tyler and his bike. I was willing to keep going, but I wanted to make sure he was okay. Couldn't leave a man behind. So,
no man left behind.
We'll say we may be back next year, maybe on some XR 150Ls, maybe a 300L, we'll see. But signing off from Big Bear. We're a little disappointed, but we'll live to fight another day.
If you liked what you saw in this video, come check us out over at dirtbiketest.com on the webs. We have bike tests, product tests, a lot of fresh dirt, and you can even support us by clicking through our links. Hopefully, we'll see you out in the trail.